Tonight on News 5 Live, a humanitarian perspective on the consequences of surviving Lisa. Caneros in the north receive 30% increase in sugar payout. We'll tell you what the BSCFA says about the final tranche of payment. And it's Culture Tuesday. We'll show you what the National Garifuna Council and the Battle of the Drums Committee have planned ahead of the 19th of November. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
But how can you pay with your phone?
B-Box.
What? What is B-Box?
B-Box have been his newest rewards program.
Really? Where I could get it from?
Man, check on the website bbox.bz, or you could download it from the App Store. And if you still don't know, check that young lady there and she will hook you up.
I will surely do so. Good afternoon, miss. Can you hook me up with B-Box?
It's here! Introducing Cellular World's virtual store, providing you with an easy and reliable way to shop conveniently, anytime, anywhere. It's easy as click, chat, and shop. Simply add us to WhatsApp at 615-5141 and chat with any of our virtual shopping experts to inquire about your desired products. Place your order, arrange your payment via bank transfer, choose your preferred shipping method, and enjoy your purchase upon receipt. Start shopping at Cellular World's virtual store and you will be entered to win cash and other prizes daily. And that's not all. Take advantage of our exclusive virtual shopping promotions, more prizes, and surprises. So don't delay. Add us to WhatsApp and start shopping virtually today. Cellular World. Low prices, more choices.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, November 8th. I am Sabrina Daly. It's been a week since residents in central Belize collectively awaited the arrival of Tropical Storm Lisa with bated breath, despite carefully tracking the progress of the weather system as it barreled towards the coast of Belize. We sat on the edge of our seats as the National Meteorological Service provided the latest updates on the path that the storm was taking. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, kicked into high gear as final preparations were being made ahead of landfall. Prior to its arrival, News 5 set out to speak with residents of Belize who could not afford to properly secure their homes and properties. We visited poverty-stricken communities and sat with the elderly as well as the disabled to see how they would make it through the severe weather, which ultimately touched down as a Category 1 hurricane. Tonight, as we begin to wind down our coverage of Hurricane Lisa, we revisit the indigent families from a week ago to see where they are now and how they made through a most grim challenge. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
It's difficult for anyone to imagine that just a week ago, an elderly couple had been living here on the waterfront. The sea remains undisturbed, and there isn't the slightest hint that this vast expanse, agitated by an area of low pressure, torrential rains, and extremely strong winds, consumed a rough and ready wooden structure that Lorna Dixon and her husband once called home.
I want to ask one of the guys to give me a good hand and to be helping me out and see how I will get a house now by the blessing of God of Jesus. So I say God will come, somebody will come around and give me a hand and give me a good help and build me a good house. Because I'm telling you, I need a house, mister. I need a house very bad.
We have been unable to reach the couple in the wake of the storm. When last we spoke with them, they were preparing to seek shelter at a designated location. Since the remaining shelterees have been moved elsewhere, we presume that the Ministry of Human Development is looking after their well-being. Across town, in another community, we caught up with Imar Martinez and his common-law wife. Together, they braved Hurricane Lisa at home. Imar is visually impaired and recently suffered a debilitating stroke. Surviving Lisa was a traumatic experience.
And that was nothing nice, my brother. I take it rough right in and end up have to go under my bed because if you notice, my zinc mess up, right? And when me get wet and the hard breeze and me feel like I know me I live to the day if you talk to nobody else. But I'm a man of God, I got God within me, so I know that God may I help you also. But like I said, man, first time in my life I witnessed a hurricane was so serious.
The recurring theme between the elderly and the disabled is an abiding faith in God. Lorna Dixon prays for a good Samaritan to assist by building her a new home. Imar, on the other hand, places confidence in the Creator to see him through his darkest hour. Beyond their belief and devotion, these families are in dire need. Like many hurricane victims across the city, they are waiting for help.
I almost lose everything again. From the last time my wife house burned down on apartment 10 Favers Road, and I don't get no assistance from nobody. And I don't know what happened now, so I don't know what to say.
It's a feeling of despair that only one who may be going through a similar crisis can appreciate. For Horace Lord, help remains elusive.
What I see is the water was coming, and later on, when I look, wow, it was amazing, because after that, the amount of garbage and dirt and mud flood the house, and everything was on the ground destroyed. That's all I got to say.
Has anyone come to see you since to see how they can help with your situation?
The only person come is human development and bring some groceries. That's the only person I see up to now.
In Emar's case, no one has visited him since the storm wreaked havoc on his property. From his living room, the sky above provides natural light. At night time, the wind torments him, flapping the zinc violently above.
Today, I don't know, man, but as I tell my wife, I said, maybe that way, a lot of people, place get wrecked up, so nobody no come to give me all the assistance to try to help me near along my zinc, you know. But the other day, I hear the Red Cross at the back of the give us stuff and things.
But they haven't gotten around to him just yet, and every night without a proper roof over his head is increasingly worrisome. The Belize Red Cross is working overtime, so is the National Emergency Management Organization, as well as the Ministry of Human Development.
I just want to say that have the public have a little patience with us. People are texting, people are calling, my roof is down, I need a tarp. I didn't get my tarp yet, but you know, our team is small, we're trying to reach everyone. But just for them to have some patience with us, we're doing it by section.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Prime Minister John Briceño has wasted no time in responding to the needs of residents who have been most affected by Hurricane Lisa. Various government and non-government organizations have also sprung into action to provide much-needed humanitarian relief. On the part of the Briceño administration, monies have been deposited into the constituency development funds to assist residents in various communities who have suffered major damage and significant losses. Those monies are set aside from the public purse, where transparency and accountability are key factors in ensuring that those who are most in need of government assistance are getting the necessary financial aid. In speaking with the media on Monday, PM Briceño emphasized the need for accountability from area representatives who are dispersing those funds to their constituents.
We have to remember that this is the people's money and we're not going to waste it. With the Constituency Development Fund, the monies that we have given them so far, they have to give account for every single dollar that they spend. They have to give invoices and they have to give sign from the people that received what we are giving them. So that is one thing. Secondly, we can't, how can I say, we can't throw away through the window all the hard work that we've done to get us so far, where the IMF has given us a glowing report on the work that we've been doing. But at the same time, we have to remember it's about people. How is it that we can make their lives better? We have said that one of the ways to get people out of poverty is starting them with a decent home. So this is an opportunity that we can take to be able to build these homes for our people. And decent homes, they're not going to be big homes, but the houses are designed in such a way that they can expand them with time. And we even give the recipients of these homes the plans so that they know exactly how to be able to expand. The temptation is there, the pressure is there, but we also have to make sure that we get the assistance to the people that need most.
The time-consuming recovery efforts are well underway in the ravaged area of Belize in the aftermath of Hurricane Lisa. An integral part of those efforts is the Belize Coast Guard, whose members have been helping to clean up and distribute food packages to the displaced. Today, Commandant of the Belize Coast Guard, Rear Admiral Elton Bennett, explained that NEMO asked them to help.
Directive sent over to the Ministry of Defense that the concentration of forces must be within Belize City. Immediately, we marshal all personnel who are available to work. and within 24 hours we descended on Belize City in numbers. We started off 24 hours after the all clear was given in Belize City with a small number, and then we increased. We started off with a small EOC team that assisted with damage assessment. Thereafter, we provided personnel on the ground to work with the cleanup effort and with the distribution of relief supplies. So what started off as initially an understanding and an assessment of what was going on into Belize City quickly translated into personnel working relief supplies and cleaning up Belize City. So throughout the weekend, we had, on an average day, 150, 160 personnel doing a series of jobs within Belize City. That effort expanded into Ladeville, who reported that they also received some serious damages and required some military support as well. So we're doing Belize City, we spread out into Ladeville as well, and we're all the way up Belize River Valley into Limonal. We're doing Ladeville, Hattieville, Freetown, Siboon area, providing support to all of those communities that are affected.
Rear Admiral Bennett said the public has shown gratitude for the help they have received through the relief efforts. And while there are still some people that they need to reach, Bennett says a lot of work has taken place since Hurricane Lisa hit.
Individuals that are affected welcome the Coast Guard into their sphere of dwelling, delivering supplies, not only dropping off supplies in front of people's houses, but getting inside their homes, having a chat with them. So we've seen a good sense of appreciation from those who are affected. Indeed, I've never seen a well-coordinated operation like this. When I say coordinated, not only on the government's part, but the individuals' part, neighborhood, public, private sector coming together, government agencies working together under one umbrella in order to achieve one effort. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a drive like this before. And I've been through quite a bit of hurricanes. Being in the service for over 25 years, I've seen quite a bit of hurricanes passing through the country and disaster relief operations. But this seemed to be an operation that seemed to have brought us together. I think the national effort is exceptional. I think we've been able to achieve a whole lot within a short period of time. We need to understand and appreciate that we got hit by a Category 1 hurricane here in Belize City. So we need to understand that the impact was great. It will take a little more time in order to get back to normal.
Coming up, a third payment for sugar increase by 30% for cane farmers.
Hello friends, this is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, when Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciples standing by whom he loved, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then he saith to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. William Goldsmith Brown once said, the sweetest sounds to mortals given are heard in mother, home, and heaven. Abraham Lincoln said, no man is poor who has a godly mother. No one knew the love and compassion of a mother like Jesus. She was the first to greet him from the womb and the first to greet him from the tomb. She was first to the cross and first to the tomb. Jesus' love for her is best illustrated by the fact that one of his last thoughts was on his mother. From the cross he looked down and saw her and said to John, Behold thy mother. That is, take care of Mother John. No one can comfort and console like a mother. That is why someone said the best place to cry is in a mother's arms. She is there when we cry and often when we die. On September the 24th, 2010, in a New York apartment, the lifeless body of Cesar Mercado, senior consular official, was discovered by his driver, Amparo Amador, who had come to drive him to attend the UN General Assembly's annual meeting. The driver related, beginning 6 months ago, he told me, don't let them have a funeral for me here if I die. I want a closed casket. Just send me to my mother.
Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first Constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
Come and see. I need to show you something. A product that is destroying our planet. To make space for it, millions of trees are cut down. To grow it, chemicals poison the land, the soil, the water. To produce it, the air becomes saturated with toxins. And when it's discarded, our environment is polluted in ways that we can't afford. Tobacco costs us more than 8 million lives every year. It also costs us 600 million trees, 200,000 hectares of land, 84 million tons of CO2, 22 billion tons of water. Tobacco is not only poisoning people, it's poisoning our planet.
Sugarcane farmers in the north are being paid 30% more per ton of cane than last year's payment. On Monday, ASR-BSI announced its third payment to sugarcane farmers. According to a release from the company, farmers were paid $70.78 per ton of cane as a final cane price. This is said to be an improvement of $16.22, or a 30% increase when compared to the third payment in 2021. BSI says it is largely due to the company's investment to improve raw sugar and molasses efficiencies, increase direct consumption sugar production, and improved sugar prices. So, what does the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association think about the increase? We spoke via phone with Alfredo Ortega, the chairman of the association's Committee of Management.
Yes, any increase in the price of cane is an improvement, yes, and it's happily accepted by the farmers. Nevertheless, we do believe that those prices could have been much better. It's true it went $16 above last year, but it's a situation in regards to market prices that increase the price per ton of cane. Also, the TCTS played an important role into this issue, whereby we managed to garner this price as they mentioned that was paid. The third payment was done to the farmer. So yes, we accept that there was an increase versus last crop, but we do believe when we see our brothers around us, the amount that they are getting is much higher than the $70 that is being paid to us in Belize. Our brothers in Obregon here to the next side of the river, they got this year $107 per ton Belize dollars. It's in the vicinity of 910 pesos per ton of cane. When you do the conversion, it's over $100 per ton. And when we speak about our brothers in Guatemala, they're above $80 Belize dollars per ton of cane. So we can see that around us, the price is higher than what we are getting. So we do believe that there can be more improvement than what is being paid to us at this point.
The Belize National Teachers Union has polled its membership to get their thoughts on the recent reinstatement of living and entertainment allowances for government CEOs. All those responses have been gathered, and while President of the union, Elena Smith, says recent weather events prevented her from going through the data, she is of the view that the reinstated allowances is unfair to teachers. On Monday, she told reporters that teachers continue to suffer and will incur additional out-of-pocket expenses due to damages caused by Hurricane Lisa.
I have not been able to go through that as yet. We haven't even discussed what are the results of the poll. But we will, looking at it very soon. But I'm sure you would understand that our teachers are not happy. We have lost salary, we have lost increments, we are still without increments. And here you have these special persons, being given double what they were getting. And our teachers are here suffering because they continue to suffer. And they have to use their same salaries now to fix the class again, because no ministry will come and give them supplies. The managements won't give them supplies because they will tell you that they can't afford it, they don't have it. But they will expect that the classrooms are going to be in a state that will be conducive to learning and that will be welcoming to these children. So we have to go and spend out of pocket again to replace the things that we lost due to the hurricane. So that shows you that we have been sacrificing over and over and over and over, yet we can't get back our increments. But these persons can get these huge increases. It's not fair.
BNTU President Elena Smith says the Prime Minister has not responded to letters from the Joint Unions negotiation team requesting a meeting. According to Smith, the Joint Unions requested to meet with the Prime Minister and his team in September, but instead gave consideration to the September celebrations. They then reportedly requested a meeting in October. Smith says the date the Joint Union has been unable to meet with PM Briceño.
We have written to the Prime Minister, we said it over and over, we've written to the Prime Minister. The least he should have done as the Prime Minister, who we wrote to, would have been to respond to us to say, at this point in time, I am unable to meet until whatever date, Prime Minister, because we wrote to him. The only response we got was from Mrs. Narda Garcia to say that the Prime Minister was unable to meet with us at the time that we had said. We wrote to the PM and at least have some decency and respond to us as unions, the man. It just simply shows you who they care about. And again, they were quick to come to us. They found us to meet with us to ask us to please assist the government and sacrifice. But now that we want to discuss the reinstatement, we can't find them, we can't get them. So our teachers are really and truly not happy. As a union, we don't put our cards on the table. We do what we must do. And so whenever our teachers make whatever decision that they make, and they give us that mandate, then we will abide by that, whatever that may be.
After the break, concerned mother says police indifferent to detain son's health issues.
And this just in, the Tough Enough Tours basketball team was the last seen going into Mappy's Beauty Salon, getting their manicure ring fingers done because they have punched their ticket to the IBL finals. But what about the Belize Coast Guard and the Central Health Customs teams? A third and decisive game must be played to determine who will advance to the big dance. It's the dream game all players dream about. Playing game and hit the winning shot to send your team to the finals. So who is it going to be in this decisive Game 3? Who will advance to the grand finale for a chance to bling the Venice IBL Championship ring? The Coast Guard played like Hurricane Lisa in Game 1 of this 3-game semi-final series. But Central Health Customs answered the call in Game 2 like Wild Gilbert. No, it's down to 1 game and 1 game only. That's what Wild Gilbert. This is as big as it gets. The Belize Coast Guard, led by Buddy Alberto, Party Flowers, John Kelly, and coached by Darren Bovell, battling against the young and upstart Central Health Customs team, who will answer with the #1 point guard in Belize, Lindsay Cooper Lopez, fresh off a 30-point performance in Game 2, alongside Stephen Wade and Akeem Evans, trying to send the Coast Guard back to their base and be the last man standing. The last man standing! Remember, it's this Friday night at the Belize Civic Center, 8 p.m. sharp. 1 game and 1 game only to determine who will advance to the finals. Just another level! Sponsors: Racina's Imports, JMW Supermarket, Mahib's Wholesale, Barefoot Hotel, Cabana Used Clothing, Midway Wholesale, Mirage Belize, Car Guys, Harris Import, Prestige Auto Sales, Cellular World, Fashion Store, VIP Wireless, Nando's Wholesale, Benny's Home Center, Crystal Water, Sprite, Our Aid, Travelers, Channel 5 and Channel 7, Creme, Wave, Love FM and More FM. Let's get it on!
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
El periodo de registro para la Amnistía Belice 2022 será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre. ¿Estás listo? Mientras te preparas, aclaremos algunos conceptos erróneos sobre Amnistía 2022. Si mi solicitud no es aprobada, ¿mi familia o yo enfrentaremos deportación? No. Amnistía 2022 es en cambio una oportunidad para que usted y su familia llamen a Belice su hogar de forma permanente. ¿Se requiere el pago al entregar mi solicitud? No. Solo se requiere el pago después de la aprobación de su solicitud. ¿Regalará Amnistía 2022 la ciudadanía? No. Si es elegible para la amnistía, la solicitud significa que tiene la oportunidad de obtener la residencia permanente en Belice. Para obtener más información y cómo presentar una solicitud, visita el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
Mr. Ronald Gordon, our Chief Met Officer, confirmed that Lisa made landfall at 3:20 p.m. yesterday, 3rd November, 10 miles south of Belize City.
The impact of Hurricane Lisa on Belize City has been devastating. Families' lives have been disrupted. People, livelihoods, business livelihoods obviously has been severely impacted. The goal really is to transform these hurricane weather-beaten streets and neighborhoods into livable, traversable spaces again. Getting back to some measure of normalcy. It's a wide cross-section of foreigners encompassing both public, private sector, of course being led by the government of Belize, the Ministry of Infrastructure. We have NEMO with us, we have CIMO, we have the Belize City Council, the Orange Walk Town Council, the BDF, the Coast Guard, and a wide scope of other partners. Obviously, their efforts here today is being met with great enthusiasm and optimism by the people of Belize City. For us at CITCO, it means more muscle on the ground to achieve the task. We face one of the greatest natural disasters ever brought upon the city. In my lifetime, in their lifetime, we face it together. Now it's even more important that we face the recovery process, the rebuilding process together. We must exercise patience on all our part.
A mother took to the media today to vent her frustration after she says her efforts to explain to investigating officers that her son, Ashton Moody, who they detained pending an investigation, has acute health issues and needed to undergo lab tests today. Dana Ball visited News 5's office on Coney Drive to tell us that the police detained her son in Lemonal Village on Monday for a burglary that happened at a house in the village during the passage of Hurricane Lisa. Bull told News 5 that she found out that police had her son detained on Monday and know that he had to see the doctor today to get the tests done. She went to the police to ask them to afford him the time to get the test done while they investigate the incident. But she told us that she got the cold treatment and the officers who held her son in custody were indifferent to his medical condition, despite the fact that she showed them the medical papers.
So they asked me for the doctor paper and the medication, then I gone back to Lemonal. My son bring there for we, and I showed it up to now. So then Carol and Ladyville, I said, wait, they want to stay where they are doing. Nothing happened. This morning, they said last night they let her out, they not let her out. This morning when I gone back there again, it's still the day. He had a clinic there this morning. Yesterday he had to go do. Yeah, he missed the clinic there this morning. Yesterday he's supposed to go and do the blood test. He came in at the clinic this morning. None of that happened. So I explained it for last night and I tell him he needs to go for do the clinic there because every 2 weeks or every week he have to go do this because they tell you that he will end up maybe do the dialysis and all of this. Now my son today, and I tell him, I say, you lock up my son in here, smell how in the smell. If he catch an infection, who responsible? You understand? I try all kind of way for to get let go my son. Up to this minute I talk to you, my son still there. I gone just now and I asked them what happened. If I want to know what happened, I must sit outside and wait till the policeman come in charge of it. And I explain again today, that's not for their business.
Concerned mother told us that in addition to all the inconveniences and health risks that she feels her son is currently enduring being in custody, she knows he will prove himself innocent of the allegation because he was at home with her when the hurricane struck Belize. She said that when the 27-year-old left home, he went to help his in-laws to clean up.
I have alibis with my son today. Whole hurricane, my son sleeping on my bed. Me sleeping in my daughter's bed, my son and my grandbaby sleeping in my bed, whole through the blackout until Sunday. 7 o'clock Saturday mornings when my son get up, my son go out of Buttercup, where he sit with the girlfriend there and the mother-in-law there. Saturday when I gone out of Buttercup, my son the washing mother-in-law chair where hurricane messed up. Cut down the post and the thing out of the tree where the zinc and the house and everything blow up. He go out there, go help them. He works tour guide with my son-in-law. He works, and not like he no work, he work, but tour guides season not in right now for tourists, so he go out of mother-in-law and they pay him to do work for him. Okay. They claim to say that they put up on him because he come in late at night with a loud music. What my loud music got to do with breaking our house? I raised my son in at the heart of gang, Gill Street and T Street, and none of my 3 sons there no have no record. My 3 sons was no gang, nobody. So my son they not even have a police record.
This evening, police informed our newsroom that Ashton Moody has been released from custody with no charges. It may surprise you just how much the cost of construction materials has increased over the course of the last 2 years. The COVID-19 pandemic did not only bring lockdowns and widespread infections, it also ushered in unprecedented global inflation. The cost of building a home has increased exponentially since January 2020. There are now concerns that if the cost of construction materials continues to increase at the current rate, many more Belizeans will not be able to afford building or buying a home in the near future. News 5's Paul Lopez investigates.
It is no secret that the cost of goods and services, including food, clothing, gas prices, and labor, is at an all-time high. The same is true for the cost of construction materials.
I've been noticing the steady increase in prices for quite some time now, especially brought on by COVID now. I've been noticing the constant increase in cost in construction materials. I would say maybe late 2020 going into 2021.
Professional engineer Isani Enriquez recently did a comparison between the price estimate he did in January 2021 for the construction of a 3-bedroom house and one he did just a few weeks ago. The difference in cost was shocking. Building a 3-bedroom home, by Enriquez's estimates, cost almost $50,000 more than it did 2 years ago.
For the most part, I think the highest increase has been in the cost of in steel. Right? In most instances, since we're making that comparison between the two from that time until now, the price literally has doubled. In some cases, almost tripled. So that accounts for a huge portion of it. Along with the cost of probably every single other, the main materials in construction, everything has definitely gone up.
So, what has contributed to this hike in prices over the last 2 years? Well, most of it is beyond the local economy's control. Importation costs have increased by more than 400% over the last 2 years, according to Delroy Fairweather.
The increase in the cost of construction material attributes to the rise in the cost of acquisition or acquiring goods coming into the country, with the rate going up at least 300 to 400%. That has a direct cost in the acquisition cost. So, for example, for an item which would ordinarily cost like $100 to add import before the pandemic, you would now have to add $300 or $400 on top of that just to get that exact item here into Belize.
The additional expense is passed on to the consumer at the local hardware stores. If these suppliers were to keep their prices at pre-pandemic levels, they would stand to lose and in some cases even go bankrupt.
We import everything from A to Z in construction, if you would want to say that. Like, for example, the only thing we would produce here locally would be aggregate, which would be what we call the sand and gravel. Cement that has to be imported, that comes in overland by truck. Rebars, which again forms a part of your foundation, those are also imported. The simple thing as lumber that people would use for farm work, those are imported, and everything that has to be imported, again, like I said, it's with at a prime price.
With the devastation to homes caused by the recent passing of Hurricane Lisa, undoubtedly, all this comes as bad news to homeowners whose houses were destroyed. And for those homeowners with house insurance, you may want to revisit your insurance premiums. According to Andrew Rowe, the general manager at RF&G Insurance, the inflated cost of construction material has a direct impact on home insurance policyholders.
If you had a home, as you said, you might have built it a few years ago, or even if you built it many years ago and you've been insuring it for years gone by. If you, before 2020, before COVID kicked in and before all of this inflationary pressure started to pile up, if you had your home insured for a certain amount, let's just say $100,000, before the pandemic. And now we've seen, say, 20 to 30% inflation in construction costs. Your home has increased in value by that same inflationary amount. We're just talking about the material. I'm not talking about land or anything. There is, under every insurance policy across all insurance companies in Belize, something called the average clause. And you may have seen commercials that all of the insurance companies put out there saying that if you're not insuring your building for the replacement value, today's replacement value, then you're underinsuring your building.
The factors associated with building and owning a home in today's economy have compounded the fears of potential first-time homeowners. While shipping costs are expected to decrease over the next few months, Belize's import-based economy remains vulnerable to external shocks.
I would say, if you have the means to do it now, do it now. If you want to wait 2 years from now and maybe think about or hoping that the price is going to go down, then in my opinion, that's sort of like a gamble. If you want to roll the dice and take that leap, then hopefully it works out in your favor. But I would say if you have the means to do it now, take the leap of faith and do it now, you know.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The 27th session of the Conference of Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP27, is being held in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Like COP26 in 2021, Belize has representation at this year's event. Prime Minister John Bersenio did not attend COP27. But according to United Nations Climate Change website, Minister Orlando Habet, his CEO Kenrick Williams, Jose Urbina, the CEO in the Ministry of Energy, Servilo Baiza, the CEO in the Ministry of Agriculture, and a host of other public officers are in attendance in Egypt. A release from the government of Belize says that Minister of State Christopher Koyi delivered remarks on Monday on debt swaps for climate and nature during a high-level session hosted by the International Institute for Environment and Development. According to the release, Minister Koyi recounted the losses associated with Hurricanes Julia and Lisa, which reportedly contributed to an average annual loss of 4% of GDP. Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, also referenced the devastation Hurricane Lisa brought upon Belize in her remarks during the opening ceremony at COP27.
I came here to say a few things, but the chorus that we've had from this stage has been clear. I don't need to repeat that we have the power of choice. Every speaker on this platform has done that. I don't need to repeat that this is the COP that needs action. All of us as a chorus have said that. I don't need to repeat the horror and the devastation wreaked upon this earth over the course of the last 12 months since we met in Glasgow, whether the apocalyptic floods in Pakistan, or the heat waves from Europe to China, or indeed in the last few days in my own region, the devastation caused in Belize by Tropical Storm Lisa, or the torrential floods a few days ago in St. Lucia. We don't need to repeat it, because a picture spoke 1,000 words earlier. But what we do need to do is to understand why we are not moving any further. 1.5 to stay alive cannot be that mantra. And I take no pride in being associated with having to repeat it over and over and over. We have the collective capacity to transform. And I ask us, how many more people must speak before those of us who have the capacity to instruct our directors at the World Bank, is that called the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development only for the 20th century? At the IMF, which at least has been trying more than the World Bank? How many more countries must falter, particularly in a world that is now suffering the consequences of war and inflation, and countries therefore are unable to meet the challenges of finding the necessary resources to finance their way to net zero. This world looks still too much like it did when it was part of an imperialistic empire.
News 5's reporter Dwayne Moody and cameraman Kenroy Michael are on their way to Egypt to attend COP27. They will be bringing us coverage of the event later on this week. When we return, National Garifuna Council announces slight changes to November 19th calendar of events.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to DigiNet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, our national telecom.
Social Security, transforming service delivery. My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information, tutorials, and guides. A complete 360 view of your Social Security information is coming soon, which includes a new employer portal for employers, businesses, and self-employed persons. Contributions history and statements. All SSB benefits. Medical portal for registered doctors. And fingerprint enrollment all in one place. Social Security at your fingertips. The significant enhancement of service delivery to you is here. My Social Security.
Our teams at BEL continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
Smart introduces real unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Tonight, we resume our Culture Tuesday segment after a brief pause due to Hurricane Lisa. After all, it is the month of November, and many are still anticipating a calendar of events for activities leading up to Garifuna Settlement Day. Earlier today, we spoke with the President and Secretary of the National Garifuna Council, who explained that notwithstanding a few changes to the itinerary as a result of the hurricane, this year's celebration will honor the spirit and resilience of the Garifuna people. Sheena Zuniga is the president of the NGC.
One of the two changes that were made because of the hurricane was we postponed our Miss Garifuna Belize pageant, which will be held this week, Friday, at the Sacred Heart Parish Hall, starting at 6 p.m. We also had to reschedule our Solidarity Mass, which will be occurring on Saturday at Sacred Heart Church at 11 a.m. Those are two of the most significant changes. We do invite the public, especially Griga Belizeans, to attend a Solidarity Mass. We have a lot to be grateful for. The fact that Griga was spared from the hurricane, and we stand in solidarity with our members and the Belizean on whole who were affected by the hurricane. During this hard time recovering from COVID, we know that there's a lot lost, and we pray for them, and NGC will do its part to give back as well to Belize City residents.
We're trying to play catch up and at the same time raise some funds, because if we're going to be able to give support to our branches, especially now Belize City branch being the most significantly impacted by Hurricane Lisa, then we have to be raising funds. The NGC isn't a business, it's not a corporate entity. We make partnerships with corporate entities. We seek support from the government as well as from private sector, from individuals, so that we are able to raise funds as an organization and then give the kind of support, like in this current situation, that we would be able to give to the Belize City branch, for example. Our people, so many Garina will live in Belize City now that have migrated from different Garifuna communities, and the council wants to be able to render that kind of support.
Unlike previous pageants, only 6 contestants will be participating this year. Those young ladies hail from various Garifuna communities across the country. In respect of the Mass of Solidarity, an invitation is also being extended to all Belizeans.
The Miss Garifuna Belize pageant 2022, this year we have 6 beautiful contestants. We have participants from Belize City, Dangriga, Barranco, St. Bite, Punta Gorda, and Hopkins. It's really significant because these young ladies are where we have mostly predominantly Garifuna people. The purpose of the pageant is for them to showcase their knowledge of the Garifuna culture, the language, the dance, and just about the Garifuna culture.
When it comes to the Solidarity Mass, we extend the invitation to non-Garinagu as well, ministers of government, people who are working with us in the community, who have partnered with us and so on. We invite them to be a part of our celebration as well, because we are a part of a nation. We don't exist in isolation. And Garinago have been known to be very open and welcoming. That's why our communities are no longer exclusively Garifuna. Once there were roads into our communities, others started to come and live with us. And so we continued that kind of spirit of harmonious coexistence. So the invitation is extended to everyone to be a part of our festivities.
As we continue this week's coverage of Culture Tuesday, we look back at a feature story that was first aired in November 2013. Ahead of Garifuna Settlement Day that year, News 5's Isani Cayetano traveled down to Dangriga, where he met with Austin Rodriguez and his daughter for a lesson on drum making. As many would know, the primero and the segundo are the beating heart of Garifuna music. Here's a flashback to that story.
The soul of Garifuna music is undeniably anchored by the polyrhythmic depth and timbre of the Garifuna drum. Cylindrical or cone-shaped, this wooden percussion instrument, tautly wrapped on one end by a thin membrane, often the cured hide of a sheep or deer, is central in any genre of ethnic song and dance. The up-tempo measure of the primero, or the subtle register of the segundo, is a uniquely impressive sound. Together, they evoke strong emotions.
In ritual, we have 3 drums, and those drums symbolize the totality of Garifuna life, past, present, and future. And they play their part in representing the Garifuna worldview, Garifuna cosmology, if you will. In secular life, we generally use the primero and the segunda, and to play the various types of music that we use for festive occasions. And when I say festive occasions, of course, I don't just mean fun times, because we also mask our grief, our sorrows, our burdens in song and dance.
83-year-old Austin Rodriguez, a resident of Dangriga, is a master craftsman. His skill in drum making is unrivaled. Using rudimentary tools, Rodriguez, whose instruments are renowned the world over, has been fashioning drums for almost 50 years. He is self-taught.
I don't go nowhere and learn nothing. I just imagine how to make it and I make it true. Because I'm determined that I'm not to work with nobody.
With strength of mind and sheer enthusiasm, Rodriguez set out to make his first drum.
When I make my first drum, brother man, I cut it through when I use chainsaw. Cut it through. Because I cut it one time, I say I'm not going to cut it anymore. You know? And I keep on. Beginning is the whole thing, brother man. Interest behind starting something. You know? When you get into it, it starts to show itself to you. This could be the way, this could be the way, this could be the way, until you get up there.
Unlike his brief learning curve, over time Rodriguez has risen to become a preeminent Garifuna sculptor, earning his place in the pantheon of Belizean art. Following closely in his footsteps are daughters Noralie and Datha.
This is the mahogany log that we use. We use mahogany, mayflower, and cedar. This process, my sister needs to cut the both ends to level the both ends. Then from that process, we're going to find the diameter of the log.
In the continuum of Garifuna Duo, the perpetual cycle of carrying on tradition, these siblings are the future of drum making.
I asked him if he could show me how to do the drum and how to use a chainsaw, but he never wanted me to use a chainsaw because then he used to tell me, oh, you're a little girl, you can't do that or you can't do that. So when he decided to go to the States and he promised my mom that he was going to send money home to run the home, but he found tools out there that he wanted to bring back, so he couldn't send. So I decided to start do the drums on my own. He left some shells there and I start cover them. And then when the shells finished, I started to dig out the drums.
While the process is arduous, the drum, when crafted to perfection, is a symbol of the Garifuna spirit of endurance. That tenacity is celebrated in the poem Drums of My Fathers.
I am the hallowed trunk, and the hills and the vales and the streams and the soul of Africa.
Roy Cayetano's ode to the power of the drum, its rhythms representing the very fabric of Garifuna life, is the embodiment of the combined effect of the human and metaphysical relationship.
I had started the first few lines of a poem that I wanted to write that said something about the soul of the Garifuna people, the essence of being Garifuna. And I started the first few lines, drums of my fathers rumbling in my bones. And the words just came. The words just came. I think it must have been written in something like 20 minutes. It was like dictated. In Garifuna we have a phenomenon called Ichahowergut. And I think this is a high level of inspiration where the universe speaks through you, the ancestors speak through you. We have that in Garifuna music, where people speak of learning a song rather than of having composed it because of the way the songs are given to them.
So was the preordained talent of Austin Rodriguez. His daughters, disciples of the trade, are also making a name for themselves. In this family, the students have become teachers.
When my daughter makes drum and the one that I make, you could see the difference. She's very careful when she's working. You could know the difference.
He would boast, you know, tell her, oh, my daughter could do better drum than I do. She also do different styles and different design of drum. You know, sometimes I teach him different things that I, design on my own.
What they have learned collectively, after years of employing deer hide as the percussive surface of choice, is that sheepskin is a more resilient leather. It sounds better too.
When you want to take out the fur, we use knife, sharpen your knife as sharp as you could, then you work it. Yeah. Because sheepskin is not easy to take out the fur. You have to get the knife sharp. Then your drum, you get the rims, the top and the bottom rim, you get it to the midline. Then you have to wet the skin so that it can fold the way you want it to, you know? When you wrap it up and you just put on it.
Once completed and finely tuned, the garao or drum is regal. It symbolizes the progression of the Garifuna people. In Dangriga, a shrine has been erected in its honor, bearing the namesake of the famous poem.
The present incorporating the past and the future emerging from the present. That is why we have the drums of my father's monument at the entrance to Old Dangriga, to proclaim to the world the importance of the drums.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Just ahead, the Belize Zoo needs help after Hurricane Lisa wrecked enclosures and displaced the animals.
At BEL, continue to serve you as our communities rebound from the impacts of Hurricane Lisa. We stand strong and resilient, determined to restore service to all our customers. We thank all of our affected customers for your patience and understanding during our recovery from Hurricane Lisa. BEL, we continue to serve you.
How are we to measure the success of our lives? For many, an ordinary life should have the following: a job, a house, enough money to buy a new car. But what if we threw out the ordinary? What could escaping ordinary at our jobs do? How about for our marriages? What if I told you we could all be escaping ordinary? Join us as we begin our new series.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
I will be there. Thank you so much.
Why are you so excited?
Let me tell you a secret. I just got off the phone with Santa. One second.
We just learned that Santa's phone number has just been revealed. The number is 227-7132. Children all over.
I'm sorry, Dad. I shared Santa's phone number.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Hurricane Lisa certainly left its mark long after it ripped through Belize City and the central part of the country. Many are still cleaning up the debris that the Category 1 hurricane left strewn across the affected areas. The situation was no different when we stopped in at the Belize Zoo on Monday, where its staff were out in the sun engaged in laborious work, cutting fallen trees and raking up leaves that were still covering walkways. A few access trails were still blocked by huge fallen trees, but luckily none of the shelters got damaged and none of the animals got hurt or killed. But the experience left many of them notably stressed, and they may require some rehabilitation before they are placed back on display. What's for certain is that while the zoo remains closed, it needs all the help it can get from you, whether that is in the form of fruits, meats, and veggies, or for the animals, cash, building materials to replace damaged enclosures, or labor to help with the cleaning process. News 5's Marion Ali reports.
Like Hurricanes Richard and Earl that ripped through the Belize Zoo in 2010 and 2016 respectively, last week Hurricane Lisa caused significant damage to a lot of the infrastructure in place at the facility for the 150 animals on display.
There wasn't a single pathway in the zoo that was clear. We have over a mile of pathway and every single one of them was covered in vegetation. We would say close to, I would say more than 75% of the vegetation was touched in some way, either branches brought down or leaves, or going up the scale, more significant damage where you had full-on breakage of trunks and trees uprooted all throughout the zoo and its immediate buffer. And of course significant damage to some of the animal habitats as well. Their living spaces get damaged, but they themselves are fine.
The animals had to be secured inside safer enclosures and buildings of the exhibit area. Trees were uprooted right next to their shelters. Thankfully, though, none of them got hurt. But the experience that the hurricane brought might mean that some of them will need rehabilitation before they are put back on display again.
For instance, if you want to medicate an animal, we don't have to restrain anymore. They can just,
Yes.
freely give you a hand and you can inject.
Okay.
It's probably going to have to start all over. This have probably changed everything. We have the spider monkeys. In the morning, they're released in the large habitat where there's enough space. In the evening time, they will come in, and that is where we feed them. That's where we do head counts, and that is not happening. So what we do is we do sort of giving them food, change the water, but it's not the normal thing for them.
Umberto Wallers is the general curator at the Belize Zoo. He explained that protecting the animals from the hurricane is pretty much like effecting a family's hurricane plan.
We assigned different locations to safeguard the animals. One is what we call the quarantine area, 2 inside the clinic, and 3 we have other concrete buildings where we could say it's very safe for animals like jaguars, pumas, and so those we could say were already planned with the experience of the past hurricanes.
The zoo's staff, along with hired teams with technical expertise and specialized tools, has been cleaning and restoring the facility since last Thursday. But Conservation Program Manager Jamal Angerin Bone says that the degree of damage and debris that the hurricane left in its wake will result in several more weeks of work.
Every manager and staff that works at the zoo is still reporting to work, even though we're close to the public. It's just that rather than having, as you say, the different, the tourism aspect, the education aspect, everybody's doing manual labor now. So trading in the castile, for example, for a machete and a claw to clean. So that will be the norm for the next few weeks until it is back in a place where we can welcome the public.
The length of time of that closure has dug significantly into the facility's revenues.
It's cutting into all the programs we were just restoring post-pandemic, our educational programs, our expansion of the animal habitats, our trainings for staff. So it now forces us to shift into not only those day-to-day expenses, you still have to pay utilities, you still have to feed the animals, pay the staff, but now there are additional expenses being incurred with just making the zoo back to what it once was.
But the zoo has managed to still wow its supporters through its Facebook page. And that is also the medium through which it has been asking for help. The caretakers hope that your empathy towards the ambassadors they look after continues. And their needs are many.
We're very much open and eager and welcoming in-kind donations in the form of food for the animals. Right? That's what most people want to attribute their efforts to. But yes, other building materials, construction materials, wood, that sort of thing. We will have need for fencing and so on.
When Lisa made landfall last Wednesday, the zoo was in the process of preparing upgrades to offer the public more. Bone says those surprises are still things you can look forward to upon the zoo's reopening.
There were several very beloved animals that were either getting a new habitat on the zoo grounds or getting an upgrade.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.